What were some of the biggest concerns raised by parents today?
Sean, up until today, the Deped is still receiving enrollment-related concerns over at its command center. For them, this just goes to show that there are a lot of parents interested to enroll their kids for this school year. To date, there are 24.7 million students enrolled for the academic year, but Deped says they are still willing to accept late enrollees until November 21. However, they are advising parents not to wait until the deadline so students won't miss important lessons. Aside from enrollment concerns, some have also called Deped's hotline to inquire about the learning continuity plan, including the distribution of modules and the process of blended learning. Overall, they received 16,000 concerns since June, with 90% already resolved. In her message to the public, Deped Secretary Leni Robredo said despite the challenge, they won't delay the education of the students and won't leave students behind. Field updates live streamed on Facebook from different schools also showed that they are prepared with modules already distributed. Meanwhile, the Deped revealed how the assessment will be for the school year. Schools will mostly gauge students' performance through summative assessments, which will include quizzes, oral presentations, and research projects, doing away with periodical or quarterly exams. Sean, as of now, the Deped's program is still ongoing, and we are expecting to receive more updates from Secretary Leni Robredo in just a few minutes. Sean?
Right, Shaila, I understand that late enrollment is until November 21. That is more than 6 weeks away. And some students could possibly miss more than a month of schoolwork by that time. So what's going to happen? How do they plan to catch these students up?
Sean, the explanation we got from the Deped earlier was that they set the November 21 deadline because they think this is an ample time for students to catch up on their lessons. But as for the specific on the strategies on students catching up to the lessons, we have yet to find it out, and we'll ask that later today. Sean?
All right, you mentioned that you are waiting for more words from Secretary Briones. Around what time can we expect her to start speaking or give her words?
The schedule of Secretary Briones is packed this morning. We are expecting her to talk before 10:45 today. She's also expected to speak at the Laging Handa briefing. So we'll give you more updates when we already see these press cons. Sean?
All right, thank you very much for that. Shaila Francisco reporting to us live from Pasig City. And Malacanang is confident that the Education Department can overcome whatever challenges may arise in today's first day of classes. The palace says it's optimistic because the agency assured parents and students that they are ready for the opening of classes today. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says they're not expecting the shift to flexible learning to be flawless, which is exactly why it is asking Congress to expedite the passing of Deped's budget to support new learning approaches like broadcast and online classes. Meanwhile, Vice President Leni Robredo is calling for limited face-to-face classes in areas with no COVID-19 transmission. She pointed out that about 400 LGUs are no longer burdened with containing the spread of COVID-19, which means they can design a setup where students will go to school on a shifting schedule. For these areas, Robredo proposes face-to-face classes, at least for core subjects like reading, math, and science. This way, all students will only have to go to physical classes 2 times a week. The Education Department has yet to comment on the Vice President's proposals. And a magnitude 5.6 earthquake rocked Occidental Mindoro earlier today. Intensity 4 was registered in the town, or was felt rather, in the town of Looc and nearby areas all the way to Tagaytay City. Residents of Metro Manila also felt the tremors at intensity 2. PHIVOC said the quake struck at 2:16 a.m. and although it is not expected to cause any damage, the public is urged to prepare for aftershocks. And the LTFRB has suspended the mandatory use of beep cards along the EDSA busway. To tell us how drivers and commuters are responding to this, Gerard de la Peña joins us live from Commonwealth Avenue in Quezon City. Gerard, what do you have for us? What have you noticed so far today?
Well, Sean, after implementing the directive last week, the Department of Transportation is suspending the implementation of that directive that mandates the use of beep cards for passengers using the EDSA busway. Well, to be clear, they are suspending that directive that obliges passengers to use the beep cards for using for paying for their fares. This after AF Payments, the company behind Beep, refused to give out the cards for free. Assistant Secretary Bert Swansing said the agency's stand is that commuters should not shoulder the cost of the actual card since they should only be paying for the fares. Otherwise, commuters will have to pay 180 pesos for a new Beep card but can only use 100 pesos as consumable fare because the card itself costs 100 pesos. They will also be charged 5 pesos as convenience fee whenever they reload. AF Payments earlier said the true cost of a card is 80 pesos and that the company is not earning from it. Swansing said the DOTR would like to propose an option wherein a passenger may redeem the cost of the card if he or she is to return it as in a deposit. Swansing also said the Beep card problem opened up a can of worms, prompting the government to look at how other contactless payment solution providers are operating in other modes of transportation. Here in Commonwealth Avenue, a Beep ride card, which is not the same as the Beep card used in EDSA busway, LRT, and MRT, costs 100 pesos. Passengers also need to pay 8 pesos for convenience fee whenever they reload, and each card should have at least 35 pesos to remain active and usable. These things, as well as the possibility of the buses at the EDSA busway changing its service provider, will be threshed out in a meeting tomorrow. Well, Sean, for now, just a reminder for passengers, if they already have their Beep cards, they can still use it if they are taking the EDSA busway. But if they don't have, they can still board and they can pay in cash. Sean.
All right, thank you very much for that update. Gerard De La Peña joining us live from Commonwealth, Quezon City. We will be back with more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Let's circle back to our top story. It is Balik Eskwela today, but public school teachers are still adjusting to blended learning modules and other tools used for remote classes. To tell us how they are coping with this change and this challenge, Marian Enriquez reports to us live from Manila. Marian, how are public school teachers doing today?
Sean, today's opening of classes in public schools commemorates or coincides with the commemoration of World Teachers Day. And most, if not all of the teachers are facing challenges in the current blended learning approach. 57-year-old grade 3 advisory and Filipino teacher Grace Nahe admits that she is not techie, which makes blended learning quite challenging for her. But as a teacher for 24 years now, she says everything can be learned, even online classes. On this first day, teacher Nahe has to meet parents of her advisory classes. And instead of working from home, she decided to come here at P. Guevara Elementary School in Manila because she wouldn't be able to control the noise from her dormitory neighbors. She uses Facebook Messenger to chat with parents and Google Meet for video conferencing. But only 7 sets of parents and students were able to attend the online orientation out of her 41 total enrollees. She shared that most of the parents kept on disconnecting due to poor internet connection. This is the same scenario with grade 8 practical arts teacher Nestor Reyes, who works from his home. For his first class, he was supposed to orient 25 students, but only 10 were present in the Google Meet. This may be okay for now because there's still the adjustment period, but he admits it will be very challenging since he has to translate hands-on classes while drafting or drawing and wiring installations to the virtual platform. He said he will have to send his students a copy of modules for those who still don't have their physical copies. Sean, for today, teachers will be just meeting their students online for orientation, but tomorrow they will be starting their classes for different modalities. Sean?
All right, thank you very much for that update, Marian Enriquez, joining us live from Manila today. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.